Okay, OBS reconnected. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rise of the Podcast.
Does it continue the same stream at least?
I think so.
Hopefully it does.
Wow.
Ooh, boy, we are dropping a lot of frames, though. Ugh. Hey, so it wouldn't be a Rise of the Podcast stream if we didn't have internet problems.
Seriously?
Huh.
Do you want me to bring my phone closer?
If you want to try doing that.
Well, it's green yellow now. It's green yellow, isn't it? Is it better? Are we all right? Did it level out?
Oh, there's
yeah,
red.
it's just bouncing all. It's going between like 700 and 3,000.
And now we get to watch Kara. Hello. Okay, that was creepy. I'm sorry. Okay, won't do that again.
Sorry, I was reading Swanky's comment.
What'd Swanky say?
He said, Q Price is Right got the game wrong music. And then, we're back up. So we were down for about a minute. We were chunking along here. Our internet switched to the local Wi-Fi instead of Jeremy's Wi-Fi. Trying to see. Yes, it's reconnected. Okay, hey, we're back again.
How are our frames? I think my phone was getting a little hot in the window. I think that's maybe what happened.
We're looking good now. No, it did switch back. No, still connected to your phone. Oh my goodness, what a great podcast, huh? We'll ride up the storm. Ransomware attack.
No, the Russians are trying to bring us down.
Yeah, so here's what happened. For some reason, Jeremy's phone decided to not have internet, so the computer automatically is like, oh, I know another Wi-Fi, I'm going to jump to that one. So it's the garbage local Wi-Fi that we've been dealing with. So then it just basically was like ignoring Jeremy's phone connections, and then he readjusted it, and that became the better choice, and then it switched back to that. So we've been disconnecting and reconnecting to two different internet streams. We're looking a lot better now.
Mm-hmm.
So I unplugged it, and I moved it out of the window, so hopefully like the heat, it cools down a little bit maybe.
Yeah, Swanky said it's very freezy and down again. I feel like I'm doing an internet push-up. Up, down, up, down.
Up, down.
Brad says I can deal without gas and meat, but not Rise of the Podcast. Oh, we appreciate that.
That was the final straw.
Yeah, we'll get Biden working on it.
Okay, so here's what we need to do.
Yeah.
We should have a Rise of the Podcast barbecue for our 3rd anniversary.
Well, there you
And
go.
invite people to come up and have a barbecue with
That'd
us.
be sweet. Do it on the...
Maybe in our new building.
Yeah, say do it on the roof of the new building.
There you go. Ooh, I'll make a nice little garden area up there. It'll be great, guys. Y'all should come up and just hang out with us.
You'll be on the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you gave a weird face. I was just wondering what that face was for.
The stupid internet really pisses me off. That's
No,
all
it does, and
doing.
it's being chunky still, but
Yeah.
audio should still be coming through.
That's what you're here for anyway.
Can somebody tell me the last part of the story that I was telling?
Cordial,
Gabe says
you
he's
guys
down
are
for
listening
barbecue.
to the. You guys are listening.
Swanky says he's down for barbecue. We get
Boom,
barbecue
guys!
going.
See, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But you were talking about you were listening to the baseball game, home run.
I'm just wondering how far the stream got before.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Anyway, well, we'll just summarize. I got pulled over in Iowa, going out
you were just
absurdly
talking about
fast.
it being a felony.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, because he charged you for 79.
Yeah, he wrote me up for 79 instead of like 95.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which was like, because I was looking at the thing, because it has all the different classes of like ticket or whatever.
Yeah.
So he got me just inside of like tier 1. So, have you ever gotten a speeding ticket?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like 20 of them.
Oh, so how much is an average speeding ticket in Minnesota?
120.
150.
So for everything, or
So 0 to 10 is like, I thought it was like 150, but maybe it's only like 110, 120.
I thought
See,
all my tickets are
more
120.
than that after all the filing fees and stuff like
Yeah.
So my ticket in Iowa for 9 over.
You have to pay on the spot, don't you?
No, I
No.
didn't. I had 6 months to pay for it.
Dang.
If I had to pay on the spot, we would have been able to get home.
Yeah,
I would have
that's
had no
true.
money left.
Chris would have gone to the clink.
If you go out if you get pulled over out of state, I think they can make you pay on the spot.
Oh, okay. Expired license. Okay, yeah. So I had an expired license. I got away with that by saying that my new license in the mail. I didn't have proof of insurance because it's my buddy's car. He's dead asleep in the passenger seat. So I was like all these dodgy things, but because I pulled myself over, basically, he's being real nice to me. So JJ Henry Henriksen wants to know if you got any tickets in the Mustang. I'm sure you did.
Oh my goodness!
You took out that
hi.
dumpster with it.
Oh man, I know. I didn't get any like speeding tickets or anything in it. I went to a lot of car shows with it, but I did not
What
get any tickets.
vehicle
He
did you?
owns it now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, he owns it now.
That's a sweet car.
He was also down at.
Did you paint it, or does it still have the black fender?
No, he painted it.
No,
It
that's
looked
what I'm asking.
gorgeous.
Oh, nice.
Oh no.
What color is it?
It's the vintage burgundy stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He was also at GalaxyCon in the cities at the same time we were,
Oh.
but we didn't know until he saw pictures, and he's like, "I was just there."
Oh,
So,
dope.
So.
what vehicle did you get the most tickets in?
Oh, I bet the Subaru.
No, it's probably the Dakota.
RX-7?
It was the Dakota.
Oh, oh yeah, you did all sorts of derelict stuff in that
I
thing.
did so much stuff in that.
You would
truck.
think it'd be a fast vehicle, and
No,
no.
it just needs to be the most comfortable vehicle.
Well, no, so I'll make a 10-second story. Is when we cut through a public park, and I drove up a hill to lose David, and David followed me and just smoked. the
Wait,
front of
you
his-
were off-roading?
in a public park.
What is wrong with you?
Oh yeah, no.
Did I tell you about the?
It was at. We drove up through there and then like through the trees and like down by all the
Gee.
playground and everything. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jeremy,
Anyway, so David,
what if there's a little
David
kid?
was driving up and he just smoked this hill and he hit it hard. I thought he ripped his oil pan off. He's driving home and then like a day or two later, knock on the door. David and I are downstairs playing Xbox. Al answers the door. He's like, "David, Jeremy, get up here!" We go up there, and it's a cop holding David's license plate. He's like, "We found this in the middle of the park." We're like, "Oh, we're looking for that." He's like, "Yeah, don't ever drive through there again," and he gave it back to David.
Who was
Yeah.
it?
I don't remember who the cop was.
It definitely wasn't Beckman.
No, he
Hey,
would have
let's not say officer name.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
It's
that's
probably
true.
the most appropriate course of action.
But anyways, so yes, yeah, I was very derelict in that vehicle.
Well, so probably in a similar time frame, you know the hockey rink on Pinehurst Park.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
I tell you that we got a car stuck on the rink there.
No, I didn't know.
It was just between winter and spring, like so the rink was still open and stuff, but like there were warm days, so the ice got a little bit soft, and we were doing donuts in somebody's parents' car.
Yes.
And we get it stuck, like, dead center of the rink. And there's 5 of us in this 4-door sedan. And we're, like, pushing, and it's a manual, so only 2 of us know how to drive it. And we're pushing, and it's like, a cop drives by as we're doing this, and we're like, we are so freaking busted.
Right.
And we finally get it out. The rink is destroyed. It's just tire marks everywhere.
It's funny.
And we get out. I can't believe that we did not get busted.
That's super funny.
Anyway, so
Good
back
Lord.
to
So you hate Iowa, but the state patrol was really nice to you.
he was really nice, but so imagine this entire time I'm sitting in his car, just smelling manure, getting a speeding ticket, whatever. Like, and so like he asked me, he's like, why are you driving so fast, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's like obviously, see, he's like, I'm from northern
Yeah.
Minnesota. It's like I'm just we left Branson this morning. We're just trying to get home. And I was like, and I literally said this, like, no offense, it just stinks so bad here. I need to get
I
And
wish I
he's-
could be there to see that.
and he was like unfazed by it, and he's like, I get it, I guess, but he's like, drive the speed limit.
Right.
So Corey finally wakes up and he takes over driving, right? And we've been driving all freaking day. And he's giving me all this crap about getting the speeding ticket, but he's continuing to speed.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, just wait, you're gonna get one too. It's like you keep driving like this, you'll get one too, right? And just south of Minneapolis, he got busted also going like 95 miles an hour. He got 89.
Oh!
He had like a $400 ticket.
Jeez.
Dang.
So yeah, it was nighttime by the time it happened and everything. But like, so he got busted. So like, both of us got speeding tickets.
I love how you're good on the way down, but you're just not on the way back.
Yeah, and especially like following an ambulance, they
Yeah.
could easily be like, "This car's been behind us for so long."
Right?
Dang.
That's crazy.
So then, like, yeah, we finally get back, but like, it was awesome. So, long story short, Silver Dollar City is really cool.
That is really cool.
Silver Dollar City is very cool. I'm
So
excited.
to go back to the original tangent and all this. Oh, good. I thought it was Restream yelling at me again, but it was just Siri probably messaging something.
We are dumping a little bit of frames, but we're okay.
So lawnmower. So I go over. I pick up this mower. Put a new battery in it. Have to go put a new front tire on it.
How did we go
There's
from
a-
that to Branson?
There's a hole in the gas tank. Who knows? Who knows? But that was the tangent.
Oh, we were talking about the temperature, and then your friends in Missouri or like whatever.
right.
And I was like, yeah, Missouri's crazy humid. And I was like, do you ever hear my Missouri story?
All right.
But anyway, so there's a hole in the gas tank. The belt slips. If you push the clutch in too quick, it's got a clutch brake. So when you press in the clutch, it also applies a brake. So it's really easy to drive. You just in gear, and then you let off the brake, and you're letting the clutch out. It's really easy. Anyways, but if you let it out too quickly, the belt will pop off, and then you just don't go anywhere. And so anyways, I get it home, and I do all of this rigmarole to it. So I drive it around, and it won't turn sharp to the right. It turns really wide. I mean, like, I'm going to make my turn, and I had to stop and put it in reverse and back up and then finally navigate. I could not just turn right, but it'll do, like, it's like a zero turn going to the left. I don't know if the steering column is all jacked up or whatever, but it needs some work. So anyways,
you can just do all left turns.
I mow the lawn.
Oh, there you go.
And it looks like, a disabled Roomba cut my grass. It's just the way that I had to drive around to cut it all. It was the first time doing it. And, because it's weird. And then there's 3 water lines that stick up that I always mow around. And it's easy with a push mower. And it's like, you can't get it with a regular mower. And then I have a hill. And then I have a little pothole. And then so I dip into the pothole and come up and completely just shear off, I do shear it off because then I know in the future I flatten the spot out. I'll never have to worry about it again.
How long have you owned this house?
About 2 years.
Lord.
2 years. But so anyways.
I could get you a good deal on dirt.
So then, right? So Kara is like, hey, I want to cook lunch. What are you doing? Can you come inside? I'm like, I got to get done. And I have to weed whip,
Okay, well, here's the thing. So, yesterday I was home with Chip. And I was like, you know what? It's going to be a nice night. I'm going to marinate these chicken legs. We're going to grill tonight. We're just going to have a good time. I didn't know Jeremy had these plans to go to Cloquet to pick up the lawnmower, right? So Jeremy gets off work early, and he's like, oh, I'm going to go to Cloquet. I'm going to pick up the lawnmower. I assume he's going to be home by 5. Because he was off at 2:30, right? So I think he's going to be home by 5. Plenty of time to grill and everything. 6:30 rolls around. Still no Jeremy. And I call him up. I'm like, where are you? He's like, oh, well, the lawnmower had a flat, so I had to bring it to L&M to get it fixed. And they weren't sure they were going to be able to get it fixed today, so I'm just kind of hanging around to see if they can fix it. Okay.
You get a tire mounted. Anybody who's ever had a tire mounted knows my frustration. You can't mount a tire yourself.
So I had these grand plans to have this nice dinner for Jeremy when he gets home, but nope. Jeremy screwed that up.
I just want to say,
Chuck tested.
I hate
Chuck tested.
mowing. I'd rather snowblow or do anything. I hate mowing the lawn. And the thing is, snow, you roll the dice. It doesn't snow all the time, right? So snow blowing is the thing. Grass will always grow. So there's a set amount of time you can go, and it's going to grow and be out of control. And our yard was starting to look like a hayfield, and I get stressed out.
I've got one word for you, Jeremy. AstroTurf.
Right, I know. That's your claim to fame.
I've been, for 25 years, I've been trying to convince my parents to put an AstroTurf at their house. And just chipping away.
Yep.
And, they're so close to doing it. They're close.
Do you buy it in strips like sod, or how does AstroTurf work?
Yeah, well, there's different variants of it, but yeah, it kind of comes in segments, and then they get sewn together.
Oh, I was gonna say, so what you should do is every single time you go to mow their lawn, just put a new strip of AstroTurf in. And then you go and mow again, another strip of AstroTurf until their whole lawn is AstroTurf, and they'll have had no idea.
I think they'll be able to tell, but what's that neon green non-grass back there?
Okay, so I've been watching the Property Brothers lately, and they put down in California, one of the California homes they flipped, they put in a turf, but it looks really natural. It's not like AstroTurf lime green. It actually looks like grass.
Like a field turf type of thing or something?
You could use that. And looks really nice.
I'm sure it's outrageously expensive.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
So,
they end up selling the house for $1 million.
Yeah, there you go. When the housing markets go, I showed this to Jeremy. I don't know if he showed it to you.
Probably not.
when I was looking at houses last winter, there's a house that was for sale. It was listed for $120,000. I was interested in it, but the inside needed a bunch of work. It easily needed like 15 grand worth of work, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, and then with the type of loan that I was trying to get and everything, it just like, it wasn't going to work, right?
Yeah.
I get an email from Zillow 3 days ago saying, oh, price drop on a house in the area that you've been looking or whatever, right? Exact same house, price dropped from $240,000 to $220,000.
Yeah, and they just bought it November or December of last year, or was
They
it?
bought
Oh,
it in
so
December.
somebody bought it, flipped it, and now it's worth.
They think that it's worth
They think
$240,000.
Is it in Superior?
That was in Cloquet.
Oh, it's in Cloquet. Oh, well,
Yeah,
it's
it's
in
right on
Cloquet.
17th Street.
It's in Cloquet. I'm sorry. Like,
So just back to my lawn mowing fiasco. So I get done mowing. So Kara gives me the Hail Mary. She goes, finish your weed eating, do your thing, right? So I go to
because
the
I
garage.
wanted to grill my chicken legs. They've been marinating since yesterday morning.
They're probably real marinated by now.
Oh, they
They're
sure
good.
they were really good.
See,
Super
I just made
merit.
them better. That's all I did. So anyway, so I go in the garage. What can I find? My little pre-mixed gas can. Never made it in the move. I don't know. I can't find it anymore, so I had to go down and get.
How
a new
long has it
gas
been
can.
since you've needed gas for your lawnmower?
Well, normally I just take my mower and I just ring up against the side of the house, and I really just get close. But it has been put aside. Well, I have regular gas for the mower, but this is just a 2-cycle for the weed whipper.
Oh,
So
I
it's
see.
mixed gas. Yep. So it's mixed. So I go to the hardware store, get a gas can, get some 2-stroke oil, mix my gas quick, pour it in the weed eater, fire the thing up. It's absolutely awesome, and it's got the thing. And if you just tap it on the ground, it gives you more blade. So I'm cutting. I'm about halfway done. I need a little bit more blade, and I tap. And I've never actually used a full weed whipping
Spool.
cartridge. I tap, and I hear a wing, zoo, and the frickin' blade was out. And so a chunk of green blade just went woo and sailed out across the yard. And I was like, see the little neon green floating piece of thing. And so I shut the weed whip off and I turn and look at it and I'm like, it's out. And I unscrew it. It's freaking out. That was my blade. So I'm like, I'm not meant to finish this lawn today.
Well, so
You're gonna die of heat stroke, anyways.
at my grandparents' place, they used to re-spool their own.
Yeah.
So I use so you take the thing and you run the coil.
Yeah.
Does yours have 2 sides or is it
Yeah,
one?
2.
Yeah, so those ones are real annoying because you basically have to feed everything through.
Yeah.
And then so it's like halfway in the middle
and
of the
then,
whole thing.
Wind it.
Yeah, and then you have to wind it up so that
Oh,
when you
that's
hit it,
annoying.
it will spool out.
Yep.
It sucked.
That's really annoying.
So yeah, they sell preloaded cartridges. You can just unscrew the cap and slap the new one in. And
Brad says, I just use grass killer. Problem solved. And when I get cancer, I'll join one of those class actions and retire.
well, it's funny.
Everything's known in the state of California to cause cancer, Brad.
Yeah.
But Brad, it's funny because if I told the crazy Raven lady, I think I've told this story on the podcast.
You did.
But my neighbor lady just comes over and harasses me all the time. You're not using weed killer, are you? You're not using whatever now, are you? You just killed my Raven last year, and I don't even use anything.
We didn't even kill the raven. We're like, we don't. There are people in our neighborhood that do use weed killer, and you can tell because their lawns are perfect. And we're not one of them. There's weeds all over, even the little prickly ones, the thorns. I mean, those are all over our yard.
We had a neighbor Bob,
Bad.
and he was across the street, one house down. And he was obsessed with his yard. Obsessed with his yard. And I used to mow lawns for cash or whatever. I never did a particularly good job, to be completely honest, because I'm not a fan of mowing, but I'm a fan of money.
Right.
And he was like, I'm going to be gone for a few days.
Oh,
Can
no.
you have him mow my lawn? Right? And so I just pushed the lawnmower from my house over to his house
Yep.
and mowed. He gets back, and he is incensed. Because we had, I can't remember what it's called, we had some sort of something growing in our yard, right?
Yep.
That's transmittable.
Oh, no.
And he's like, you used your lawn, he was freaking out because it was going to destroy
so the
his...
shavings fell off of your mower and
Yeah, it was
seeded his.
so basically it was sprinkling this horrible
Zombie
grass
grass.
cancer all over his yard, and he was super mad, but he always had a perfect yard. He was that's all he did because he was retired. And all he did was just work on this lawn.
Here's the thing: I give up on because I have too many projects, And so like last year, our sewer line had to have a chunk of it repaired. They dug up the yard, so I go in and get contractor mixed seed from our local hardware store. Sprinkle it down. I've got Kentucky bluegrass in one section. I've got Maryland green grass in the other. I've got some grass that just grows 4 times as fast as anywhere else in the lawn. And that's why it looks so bad. But
our yard is chunky because from where they dug it up because it's clay. And you couldn't just get that nice and smooth. And Jeremy tried last year, ruined some shoes in the process. But yeah, it's clay, and so you can't smooth it out.
Birds come in, or the grass seed, and the birds come pick out all the damn grass seed out of the dirt. It's like there's plenty of good worms.
At my folks' house, so like they have a double lot or whatever, right? And so there's the front yard, which grows at like one rate. Then there's like the front of the backyard that grows at a different rate. Then there's the back part of the backyard that grows like incredibly slow. Yeah. That one you only have to mow like every third time. And then there's like behind the fence that grows like 40 feet every week. So it's like there's some things that, like my dad used to have. It was like every 2 days I was mowing some part of the yard. Because he wanted to try and like keep it all even. So it's like the front yard was like every 5 days. The front backyard was every 7 days. The backyard was every 2 weeks. And the behind the fence was every 4 days or something. So it's like there's like this constant cycling schedule where it's like there's like one time where it's like you mow everything and it takes like 5 hours to do because it's like they have the most uneven yard in the history of yards. Like they used to have a bunch of trees and the trees came out, the roots died and they make a void and then it sinks down, right? Yep. There's literally no point in that yard where a push lawnmower can sit evenly. There's just not. So it's like you're going in, it's like the things like you're like this constantly.
I know.
Turning ankles. There's like big pockets, and nobody believed me when I was mowing the yard. But as soon as somebody else had to mow, oh my god, this yard is terrible. Somebody should do something about it. I mowed that lawn for 20 years, twisting ankles and scraping freaking. Oh, I hate that freaking yard. That's why I wanted to be AstroTurf, by the way. Is this yard is impossible to mow. Like if you went and hired a professional person, they would charge you $1,000 to mow that lawn. That's how long it would take to do. You can't use a riding lawnmower. There's so many obstacles. Yeah. There's so much stuff around there. Like basically a foot out from the entire border, you're gonna have to weed whack all. There's probably like 19 linear miles of border in that freaking backyard. Like there's a shed, there's a tree, there's the back steps, there's the freaking. Drainage ditch thing. There's the island. There's the backyard. There's another thing. There's an RV spot. All of it has to be freaking weed whipped, and like it's takes forever.
I hate it. Yeah, that's why I hate mowing. I absolutely loathe mowing.
Dude, Dad just did a skit on the 4 types of lawn dads or lawn men.
Was I one of them?
There was the your average lawn-loving dad. Not average, but your lawn-loving dad. And, like, he's like, oh, look at out there. He's like, it's time to mow that lawn. He's, like, looking at his lawnmower. He's like, do we want to bag it this year? Or do we want to just let it go? You know, let the clippings fly and go where they may. And, like, I mean, he's just going nuts about it. And then there's, like, the guy's like, oh, man, I don't want to mow. So... Jeremy.
Yeah.
And I forget, there was one other guy, and then the last one, he was so funny. He was like, Reginald, are you mowing my lawn? And, like, just going on about how he's got this guy mowing his lawn for him, and then his neighbor comes and his dog poops in the yard, and he's like, we have to sell this house. We can't keep it any longer. And it's really funny.
That's awesome.
I liked you, Dad.
We had a door-to-door neighborhood kid go by and knock on the door and like leave us a thing, and so Kara's like, "Oh, why don't you just do this?" And he'll pay him to mow, and he's like, "I'll mow on a weekly basis, and yada yada. I'm looking to raise money. I am just too cheap to pay for someone to mow my lawn, though.
I will pay $1,000 a day for somebody to mow my lawn. I don't care.
Yeah, if Jeremy ever got to the point where he's like, Kara, I need you to mow the lawn at least every other time, I'd be like, nah. I'd give that kid a call. I'd be like, dude, you're coming to mow the lawn.
It's between $25 and $40, but I know I'm on the $40.
Where's this economy going?
I know.
I used to make $5 to mow a freaking lawn.
Really? I used to charge $20 for mowing a lawn.
Oh yeah, but girls can get away with that.
That's because it's mowing and a show. I'm just kidding. It's very sexist.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway.
There's all sorts of chat happening here. Brad says California causes cancer. I don't know if I read that or not. He just grows Skywalker OG. I don't know what that means.
Apparently, I said Kentucky bluegrass. Maybe it's Skywalker grass.
And then Whisper on YouTube
Oh, hi.
Oh,
Whisper.
Whisper.
says, "Do you think Anakin brought balance to the Force in Revenge of the Sith or Return of the Jedi?" I think he brought balance in Revenge of the Sith because he basically, or between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope.
Yeah.
This is my operating theory, and you've heard it.
Yep.
It can only be balanced when there's like basically nobody, right?
Yeah.
You have 1 million Jedi and 2 Sith, so it's like he culled it down to the point where it was balanced.
Yeah.
So I would say in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope.
Yeah.
You got to pull up the river theory. That's a good way that explains the balance.
Then Brad said Anakin didn't bring the balance back because the Emperor didn't die. Mary Sue brought balance because Disney. Not a
your
Ray
phone.
fan, apparently.
Guess your phone. I don't have my phone. I just have to look up the river theory really quick. For
The what theory?
Whisper. The river theory.
The river theory.
I'll explain it in a second.
river
Balance
theory.
to the Force River Valley.
Anyway, so mowing lawn sucks.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It really, truly does.
You know who you never saw mowing a lawn? Darth Vader.
Do you know how quick he just take his lightsaber and be like, vroom?
That would be nice.
So this was a way I thought was kind of cool because people always like,
Oh!
you can't have balance, but we think about balance like there's something on this side and it's got to weigh the same as this side. So somebody said, here's how the Force works. The Force is a valley. So you got a valley, California, a valley. The galaxy is a part of that valley. Okay, so the galaxy is inside this valley. The dark side is a river that is running through it, and the light side is a riverbank. The valley would decay and die without the river, but when the river overruns the riverbank, it floods and destroys the valley. The riverbank needs to be strong so as it's to not permit the river from overflowing. It will never destroy the river, no matter how strong, it will only protect the valley. So while a Jedi can be a stand-in for the light in the riverbank, the Sith are not the river. Rather, they are trying to destroy the riverbank so it may flood the river. The Sith are not the dark side. The Sith are using the dark side to pervert the valley. Darkness, like the river, is not intrinsically bad. In fact, it's necessary for the valley's health. But by using the darkness to overflow the river and destroy the valley, that's evil. By bringing balance to the Force, it requires their destruction, because then the valley and the river can coexist as they were. So if there was no Sith, they wouldn't need to be Jedi,
Yeah.
based off that definition.
And that's ultimately where I go with the balance of the Force thing. Is like, and that's why I was like hoping that like if Luke never like had a new thing of Jedi, is like he says it's time for the Jedi to die. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
If there are no Jedi, you don't need Sith. It's the same thing just said backwards, right? So it's like, and then in terms of like balancing things out or this or that or whatever, it's like we came to understand that there were things that the Jedi weren't allowed to do just on like principle, but like Rey ends up doing it or whatever, right? So it's like I was hoping that she was gonna be the first like person moving more towards like that gray side,
The gray Jedi.
where you're manifesting all parts of the Force to maintain the Force, basically.
Maintain that riverbank.
So I think I inherently have a dispute with the riverbank thing by like the premise I don't like, because you're saying that the river has to exist for the valley to be there and stuff like that. It's like by saying that there has to be darkness, that there is light or whatever. You don't need light or darkness. The riverbank doesn't need to exist, or the river itself, the valley doesn't need to exist at all. Like saying that, like starting from that assumption, I disagree fundamentally with the argument. It's nice,
Right.
but I was like, in my version, it's like you just move away from that thing into a new space. Like it doesn't matter that there's a river valley and a river or whatever. So it's like, because otherwise you need, like, in that version you need light and dark, and then some way to balance them.
Well, it almost becomes like chicken or the egg. Which one came first? So.
Well, no,
do
but
the
you don't
Sith-
need either.
Right.
You don't need chickens is the thing. That's where I'm differing. You don't need chickens, so you don't even have to have the argument for chicken or egg. That's where my fundamental disagreement with this thing is. Like, it's like, so if you move away from Jedi and Sith, you're moving away from that valley metaphor, and you just have a person existing using the Force. So it's like they're intrinsically baking in justification for the dark side, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When it's not necessary, because a person using the Force can do dark side things as long as they're not following Jedi teachings.
Right.
So it's like when you start unlabeling the stuff, you're stopping the justification for them having to exist. So if you just have bastions of the Force, and they're just there doing things, utilizing all the Force, you're not at that river valley with the two separate entities. You're now one thing. So, anyway, it's an interesting theory. I disagree with it.
You need a meme button. A meme button. Because we are a Star Wars. This is what we started as. I love people jump in. Whisper just took us and we're like that car that takes the exit.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like we're talking about, right into Star Wars. You can make the transition really fast.
Right?
I suppose. Brad says it's Yoda's fault anyways.
Everything's Yoda's fault.
Maybe nothing's Yoda's fault.
I mean, wasn't it all Qui-Gon's fault?
No, Qui-Gon was cool.
He brought Anakin in, though.
If he didn't do it, somebody else would have.
Yeah.
I mean, and then there was the council. You know, we don't grant you the title of...
Well, so, like, here's the thing you have to consider. If it's true that Palpatine made Anakin through the Force, he would have gotten him into the Jedi Order somehow.
Yeah.
Right.
Regardless of which Jedi it ended up being. If that's
Qui-Gon just ended up being the patsy.
Well, yeah, it's like, if that's what you choose, like, if that is canon,
Right.
Palpatine would have made that happen.
Right.
So, if it wasn't whatever, he would have found some way to...
He was playing the long con.
That's what makes his character so interesting, though.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
he's a good baddie. He is a good
Except
baddie.
for, like...
Well,
As of episode 6, he's a good baddie.
I heard this, like, the best thing, music to my ears the other day at work, and Derek comes up to me and goes, I just watched Revenge of the Sith the other night because I was really craving some Star Wars. And I was like, hell yeah. Speaking my language, bud. You got an itch, and the only thing that can scratch it is Star Wars. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Considering he didn't grow up with the movies at all. He only watched them because he liked the Marvel movies. And I'm like, if you like Marvel movies,
He only watched them within the past year, hasn't it been? Or was it a year? When did he start at the base?
3 years ago. He probably watched
Has
it.
it really been 3 years?
Yeah.
Hot dang.
Carrot. Chip's almost 6 months old. We're halfway to having him for a year.
Time to get a refund.
11 days. He'll be 6
He
months.
Can be an angry baby.
He's fine.
He's fine at being angry.
You just can't ignore him.
He's
can't
definitely
ignore
embracing the dark side of the Force.
You can't ignore him. He cries. He fights sleep, but he's crabby when he's sleepy. He's a weird picky eater. He's a...
You're just describing every human being on Earth.
Yeah, Jeremy, if you get too tired, you get crabby.
I get crabby when I'm hungry and crabby when I'm angry.
Exactly. And crabby if I
And
ignore
you cry about it all the time.
Yeah, I get crabby when Kara ignores me.
So, I mean, Chip is basically Jeremy.
Yep.
He gets hangry. Crabby if
No,
I
but
ignore
he's
him.
literally everybody. Like,
I suppose I do
It's
fight
true.
sleep.
Huh?
I fight sleep.
Oh, yeah, Jeremy's like, on a work night, Jeremy's up until like 11:30, midnight gaming, goes to bed, gets up like right
5 hours
before,
later.
right, and then later on that day, he's like, Karen, I'm so tired.
And then you take that regrettable 6:30 nap, and then you're all energized up to play more video games that
That's
night.
right.
The cycle continues. Brad said Yoda's a comedy of errors and an inflated ego with a Napoleon complex.
I love Brad. Just take, I mean, you got a puppet character from 1980, you know, that was just in one movie, and he's
was in
banging on
5
Yoda.
movies.
Well, I know, but I mean, like, there's a first appearance.
6
know,
movies.
Empire Strikes Back, and then poor Yoda.
Well, it's like when you like I'm thinking about it. It's like when you look at Yoda, it's like what does he actually end up like?
Well, that's what's frustrating is Sidious was under his nose the whole time. He couldn't figure it out. You know?
And like, is he like the de facto leader, or is
I don't know.
like they have all the other masters, but it seems like Yoda's the only one that is calling any shots.
It was pretty sick when the clones tried to mow him down, and he just
So I don't know.
swipes
It's
in,
interesting.
cuts him up.
Yeah,
Slice
Frank.
and dice.
He says Frank Oz was a genius, though. He
Oh,
was.
absolutely.
So, you listen to James Arnold Taylor's newest podcast, in March, I think.
I'm halfway through it.
That's Frank Oz's wife that he has on.
Really?
Yep.
I have
Yep.
not finished that one.
She has a book called Risk Forward, and it's just a book to help you like actually follow your dreams and stuff. But it's not like it doesn't give you like homework at the end of each chapter. It's just like, here's things you can do. read through this book, whatever, take it as you will. And then later on, they talk about how she's Frank Oz's wife. I was like, what? That's super
really cool. Yeah.
So,
interesting.
Yeah. And Victoria, starts with a V. Victoria? Vanessa?
Wizard of?
Something like that. Huh?
I said Wizard of?
Yeah, right.
And because we talked about it on the podcast before, the one with Justin, for a follow-up, Charlie Bit My Finger sold for $750,000.
Oh,
yeah. I still don't get NFTs. Somebody has a lot of money and doesn't know what to do with it. We should make a Rise of the Podcast NFT and sell it for $500,000.
Right. I mean, our little skit did really well.
What did?
Our skit,
May 4th,
the Disney.
I shop at Disney one.
Yeah.
If NFTs existed back then, we probably could have sold it.
Right.
Yeah.
$230.
That'd be great money.
Brad said Yoda trained Dooku. He did train Dooku.
Yeah.
But Dooku also thought that he was doing the right thing.
Dooku's dope. I love the character of Dooku. I love the character of Dooku because he's a Sith, but he's the least Sithy Sith. He is. He's the least Sithy Sith.
Because if I recall correctly, the whole reason he joins up was because
he believed in the Separatist cause.
Yeah, and he thought that he was doing the right thing for the galaxy by doing it.
Yep.
And he ends up getting his hands and head chopped off.
Yep.
Man.
It's a bummer. Double the pride, or twice the pride, double the fall.
Yep. That sounds like a saying I'd say. Double the pride, double the fall.
Double
the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
AKA.
Also known as.
Oh, so let's see. So lawn mowing, sunburn. Should we talk about for a second, or do you want to just... Next week will be a surprise.
Supplies.
For everyone viewing. That'll be really fun.
So you guys haven't watched Bad Batch this week yet?
We have not. The only episode we're not caught up on is this week's.
Disappointed. I haven't watched last week's or this week's.
Oh, I was gonna just talk about the thing, but I'll wait to talk about
what thing?
The thing in the last week's episode.
It's just another Zillow Beast episode. I know it.
It's not another Zillow Beast.
No,
that type of episode.
It's a good one.
No,
it's just it's a fan service episode where they make a connection. That's
all. Okay.
They operate in their little network of.
George Lucas is not coming on next week.
Ah! Sorry,
did we ever talk about Dave Filoni taking over as creative director or whatever?
We did touch on that a little bit.
Did we?
But I don't think it's as big as a deal as they made it out to be. I think he's doing the same thing. He's just been given a
he just has a fancier title.
Kathleen Kennedy is still the creative director.
I think it should be Dave Filoni. I mean, Kathleen, nothing against her really, because she's been there, like we've talked about. She's been there forever.
I know that Emilia Clarke. I don't know why people. So she just got a Kira. From Solo. She got an appearance in a comic book or a big comic book arc made after her. So her character lives on, or at least gets like a.
Well, okay.
Some filler.
They needed to continue on.
It's a filler between what happens when Han's standing there and he says I'm Solo or whatever, and then leaves Kira in the dust.
Oh, so it's not a continuation after.
They're gonna. So what they're saying is they reached out to her and she 1,000,000,000% wants to come back for Star Wars.
They need to.
She has made so much money off Game of Thrones. She doesn't really need to act in anything anymore, and so she hasn't taken a lot of parts lately. But she wants to come back, and she loves working in the Star Wars universe.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. You can't just end Solo with showing Darth Maul. Like, you can't do that and then just leave us hanging. I'm sorry.
People for some reason didn't go and watch the movie, and all they look at is the dollars.
Because they were mad about The Last Jedi. But then everybody who went and watched it afterwards loved it.
Yeah.
And now they're regretting it. They're not regretting watching it in theaters. Or they're regretting it not watching it in Canada.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yep. No, yeah, it's just like, if they can't bank on it making $500,000, they're not going to do it.
Well, and then didn't Ron Howard come in?
Yeah, it came in halfway through
and so they ended up redoing everything, and then that jacked up their budget.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I would love to see another movie,
I just think
movie like that, but I don't think it's gonna happen because they're like, oh, we can't bank on it.
I think they'll just slap something on Disney Plus, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, a show.
Yeah, they're just gonna do these like limited 8-episode like.
You get more content anyways.
What if they did mall show.
They need a mall show.
How sick would that be if they did? Just even if it was a limited series, just Darth Maul, like they're doing with Kenobi. I would totally be okay with that.
I think
Because he runs a gang. So if they did it in the style of Mando, where Mando is like a bounty hunter, if they had
the Crimson Dawn or whatever,
Crimson Dawn crime syndicate mall, that would be cool.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So
We
like
don't need more Jedi mall.
I'm getting
Mauled out.
well, yeah. It's kind of like the whole thing with Ahsoka. It's like I'm happy to find new characters. That's why I like the Bad Batch. It's new people.
Yep.
Well, no, I know. It's just my
Omega.
thing is it's just because they showed what they did at the end of Solo.
Kara wants Solo closure.
I do.
Well,
I hate cliffhangers and no closure to
We
them.
could maybe get some more Paul Bettany too.
Paul Bettany died.
Did he?
Yeah. Drayden
Was
Voss.
was he completely disintegrated?
Yeah,
I mean, that's true.
Kira flies off in his ship though. I don't know where his body is.
His body was in the ship.
I forgot what I was gonna say now.
Sorry.
No idea.
No, I'm fine with new characters and stuff, but I just want closure on the mall.
I remember what I was gonna say now. So like one of the worst things that I think that Star Wars ever did was give Darth Vader a backstory.
Oh, Vader a backstory?
Like once you start explaining stuff, like so Darth Vader that you never see is always infinitely cooler than the Darth Vader we're given on screen, right? Like the things that people talk about Vader doing, and the mystery and the unknown outside of it, and I think that's what I like about.
I wish
The reason people want to go and see more movies is because they hide stuff in corners and that don't give you that closure.
Yeah.
Like that motivates people to go and see stuff, but like you can't. There's a fine line, so I'm going to try and explain this like this. So J.J. Abrams is the master of the tease, but he won't reveal anything, so he won't give you any type of reward. There's a balance you have to have between like alluding to stuff, making stuff known, and then showing things.
Right.
And all he does is allude to stuff, and nothing ever comes of it. And that's what sort of drives me crazy about his stuff.
Well, I almost think
But,
Palpatine was a really good example of that in the original trilogy.
Yeah, you never saw him.
Referenced in the first one, a hologram in the second,
second.
and then finally an appearance in the third. Like, dope.
Yep. Yeah, and you didn't get too much of him.
Yeah, so you
And
got
so,
way
like,
too much Snoke.
Yeah, so it's like in that regard, like I'm happy to like so like if for the last 20 years all we heard were like rumors of Darth Maul surviving and running this thing or whatever,
yeah.
like that would make it way more interesting. Like you saw him come back in Clone Wars already, and then do other stuff, and we've seen enough of him now that like he's not as interesting as he was.
Right.
And episode 1 is like, who is this guy?
Yeah,
And
it
how did
is.
he become such a BA dude?
Yep.
Right, and then it's like, then you get more. It's like, and it's a good story and everything, but it's like it's not nearly as good as the infinite possibility that exists in your mind.
Right.
So when you start generating all this content and pushing it all out there, like this is why I prefer new characters. Like we have, like for example, if Boba Fett never came back in Mando, all we would have is like the speculation of what he could have been, or if it wasn't shown that he was the source of all the clones or whatever, right?
Right.
Like it just leaves like this nebulous, like where did he come from? It like and then be like, oh, he's not really a Mandalorian, but he's a Mandalorian, but he's not really a Mandalorian. Like
Right.
all that stuff. It's like if we never unpacked all of that and just left it like as it was, I think that makes him a better character. So like this is all just my own personal opinion in these regards. It was like I'd rather have new characters that are interesting and not just like drilled to death.
Well, if they did a series on Kira, she was only in Solo.
I don't honestly remember who you're talking about.
Kira, the Solo's
She's Han
girlfriend.
Solo's girlfriend.
The
In the
original one or
Amelia
the
Clarke?
later one?
The later one in the Solo movie.
Oh, I don't care.
Yeah.
I care about her as an original girlfriend more, honestly.
From the books?
No, from the beginning of the movie.
That's Kira.
That's her. She's the same one in the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
I thought he was running around with some other girl
No,
later on
that's
in the
her.
movie.
That's the same
In the
girl.
very beginning, the girl that he was
The one that
Drayden
gave him the
Voss
dice.
and
Yes.
yeah.
It's the same person.
Same-
Yep, same person.
Yep.
Yep.
She apparently made so little impact on me in that movie, I totally forgot she existed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like
So she's the one that ends up killing Drayden Voss, and then flying off in his ship after talking
Yeah.
to
And
Maul.
like kind of like shows some background allegiance to Maul. But
Yeah. So that's what I just but like you said, it's personal. I'm the one that wants to see closure. I want to see like what they were planning on doing, and like they obviously alluded to more. It's like I want to know what that is. Like,
But the thing is, once they solidify it, it's not going to be nearly as impressive as what's going on right here.
there's
Like,
nothing going on right here.
You're thinking about all the cool potential, and like it's kind of like it's like the it's kind of like string theory, like with the many universes collapsing into the one observed one. There's literally infinite possibility when you just make suggestion towards what's going on. But it's like I'm hyped for Book of Boba Fett because I have no idea what it's going to be, right? So in my brain, there's all this possibility. As soon as it becomes a thing, it might be good, but it won't be nearly as good as someone just saying Boba Fett goes on to run a crime ring out of Jabba's palace. That sounds unbelievably cool, and it's like going to be okay. It's going to be something that I'll watch, but it's not going to... It'd be very hard for it to match just like anywhere your mind can go. So,
No, I'm okay with what I want my stories
Well, you Kira, you just want to see what happens.
with Kira and Maul.
Yeah.
Brad's lighting me up. He said, "How dare you?" Probably because I forgot that what's her name was a person. And then he's like, "Goes to show you can't trust someone who doesn't like pineapple on pizza." And then I'm on my philosopher kick today. So like, yeah, this is Main Street, like the reason why I create content and what goes into my mind, or what mindfulness goes into the content that I try to create.
Right.
It's like, how much do you show, how much do you not show, like finding that balance. Like the most compelling characters are the characters you know the least about but understand the most about, if that makes sense. You understand Darth Vader is universe level badass. Right? You don't need explicit detail because of the way that everybody acts around him. They're like, don't want to mess with this guy. Right? But it's like, would you really want to watch 2 hours of him running around murdering all your favorite Jedi? Probably not.
In the VR experience, when you we went Shadows of the Empire, do you come across Vader in that one?
Yeah, you do.
So in that one, that one is really, really fun. So that is at the Mall of America they just put in, but we did it at Downtown Disney. You put your things on, and that's when you're dressed up as a stormtrooper. R2-D2's like this big compared to you, and then you run through this big story, and you get like a blaster, and you go shooting and everything. But at the end, you're like trying to recover this crate, and so you go and you get the crate, and out pops this lightsaber thing. It's like a actual sword that was like predated the lightsaber, and then you're like just about to grab it. And Vader just like all of a sudden like the box closes and you turn to your left and Vader's like marching towards you and he's super tall and intimidating. It was the first time where I was ever like, that's what those rebels felt when they were in Rogue One, you know?
So sum total, how much Darth Vader did you experience in that?
20 seconds.
That's the exact right amount of Darth Vader.
Yep.
Because it hits you right at that moment of like, oh crap.
Yep.
And then you don't have to do anything. Like, if the thing started off and you're, like, fighting against Darth Vader and doing that or whatever, like, it'd be cool, but it wouldn't be nearly as cool. It's like that last second, he does something incredibly awesome.
If it started off, and then you're like going through the Stormtrooper briefing, and you're like, we work for Darth Vader. He was a young boy born on Tatooine. Let's look at young Darth Vader. It just gives you the
I think that'd be funny to do as, like, a comedy bit. Swanky says, this is one of those conversations I can't get into properly unless it's in person with graphics and whiteboards and internet and a few cases of Mountain Dew for it to be properly talked about.
There's a guy from, what is it, Always Sunny, and he's just like got the cigarette and everything.
Yeah.
See, that's what we need during our barbecue next year. We're going to have to just sit and discuss all this. So Swanky, bring your whiteboard and your graphs.
I have a whiteboard in my car.
Do you?
Of course you do.
That's the whiteboard from here. It's
me.
Oh, of course I know him. It's me.
That's funny.
Like scratching it now because my lawn chair was sitting on it. Oops.
Right.
But it still works.
Right.
I think I got that 40% off at Hobby Lobby. Gotta love that 40%
Swanky says
discount.
that's the exact right image.
Yeah. See,
yeah, conspiracy theory.
Well, before we wrap it up, Chris, you want to take us to Star Wars leaks? We haven't done that in forever.
Do we want to risk the internet?
Would you like me to?
Garrett could do it.
All right. Hey, here's a graphic we haven't seen in a couple months.
It's true. Let me
Should I do the whole spiel? Because we are a Star Wars. We've already been talking about Star Wars, so
I
we're
love
just
this
doing
spiel,
Star Wars
but-
leaks.
Star Wars leaks. And what do you go by? Top for the week?
Top for the week, yeah.
All right. Major
good
character
Jeremy.
returns in War of the Bounty Hunters #1. It's a comic.
There is so much Star Wars that I can't be caught up on because it's in a comic book.
Oh, and speaking, it's Kira.
There you go. Now you get your closure.
I
That's
want to read the
funny.
comic. Oh man, I should just really twist the knife for twist the Brad. I
Gabe
should
sick.
twist the knife into Brad because I get ads. You can sign up for Marvel Unlimited, and it's like $10 a month, and it gives you access to all the Marvel comic books, which is where Star Wars comes out on. So I could frickin' get caught up in the Star Wars universe. I know Frankie wants me to finish Old Republic, the new Light of the Republic, or whatever.
I want to enjoy comic books.
Oh,
My big problem is like the way that they're laid out. It's just like sensory overload to me.
yeah, a lot
It's-
of
it's-
times it is.
It's hard for me to parse exactly what's supposed to be like I appreciate like the effort that goes into doing all of it and making it look the way that it does and telling the stories and everything. It's just not the correct delivery mechanism for me.
Right. All right, Carrie, you gave us a leak.
Yeah, because you guys keep talking. And then, I don't know, one just said Boba Fett doesn't take prisoners. Spoilers for War of the Bounty Hunters. It's more comics and just shows him killing off some people. And
Oh, that part's actually really funny. So, I saw that.
yeah,
And
this one.
This guy, yep. And so he
Says-
kills this droid, and then like the body is dead, and he just has the head. And he's like, "Oh, you'll see. You find me extremely valuable. I can get you into such and such places and make you all these credits." And it's this droid's head talking, and he just freaking tosses it off the edge of the bridge.
Yep, that's
It's
the
hilarious.
one.
Yep.
So let's see.
I am the
So
pulse of the
Gabe
earth.
says, "Where's the listener mail banner?"
I don't have a phone to check listener mail because it's running the stream.
And then Brad says, "That sounds like a deal, Jeremy. I'll pay for Rise the podcast subscription if you get affiliate."
There you go. Right.
So
You gotta start doing the Nuzlocke
Right.
and a Discord channel. Says Swanky.
I know. Swanky asked about that before. Swanky, have you been?
This is
missing
like
the
a
last-
month. This is like
Well-
1 month in of him asking for a Discord.
Well, I felt bad because he commented on Temple of the Videos that he's missed the IMDb game, and then I think is this his first appearance, and this is the third week. 2
Yeah.
weeks he's missed.
Yeah, this is that. So I don't know. Like, well, we'll do the IMDb game 2 weeks from now.
Okay,
I might do it next week. We'll see.
we'll see.
So, Duncan Powell will reprise his role as Ruscott Melshi in Andor. Melshi was a rebel sergeant in Rogue One.
I saw that one as well. Not a big deal.
No.
It's it's like, oh, congratulations. The guy standing behind Chewbacca in the medal ceremony is still alive and is going to play his role in Star Wars. It's like, not a big deal.
Swanky says I could set one up for you guys and girls.
You do it, yeah.
Do what?
Set up a Discord.
Oh.
I honestly don't know how to do anything on there except for yell at Jeremy while we're playing Satisfactory.
Oh, that game is the best game ever.
You've only had that game for a week, dude.
I mean, I
was looking at it, it was like Jeremy's literally had this game for a week and it's like 500 hours in it.
It's so good. I still probably say, like, obviously it's apples to oranges or whatever. You can't compare them, but it's like I probably think like Valheim is a more like, adventure and exploration and this beautiful world building and beautiful scenery and fun, like the scoring while you're sailing down the Viking River, and it reminds me of very Dark Souls, but it's the type of thinking and like like you're always so close to being an upgrade and satisfactory, and like you're just right around the cusp of.
That's the thing, like, when we were playing yesterday, when you got done, I played for like another 3 hours, like, oh, I'm just going to do this one thing. And then it's
do
like
another thing.
400 things later.
Well, that was me last night. I was like, Chris, I gotta go to bed at 12 o'clock.
You said 11:30
Yeah,
first.
because I was just gonna hop over, but because I had your help, I was like, hey, you want to help me sit and hold the mouse button so we can make computer parts? Process some circuit boards because I was low on plastic.
Yep. So, yeah, like, it's a good game.
I can't believe it's in. I like Steam and I like PC gaming a lot. So, all right.
Anything else interesting?
I think Kara's out of Star Wars leaks.
I mean,
Is it all comic related?
mostly.
Or
and
Bad
it's
Batch
nothing
spoilers.
super exciting. Yeah.
It's early June. It's not Star Wars time.
Score for
Well,
Bad Batch finale
so
was just finished.
We got just a couple more
Nice.
minutes. We'll talk about. So I'm really getting into board games like a lot. So Chris and I have been going to a game night on Thursdays, and we got to play Sheriff of Nottingham, and that game is really freaking fun. So
I am the best sheriff and
It-
Sheriff of Nottingham.
You are, and it's funny. If we have enough time, we can talk
Yeah.
about it. But so Sheriff of Nottingham is it's a game that it just purely relies on the quality of the game is going to be the type of personalities that you play with.
Yep.
100%. It all relies on it. But the long story short, there's just a deck of cards. You draw cards in your hand. You got to sneak them in to this little bag, and then the sheriff. So one player plays as a sheriff.
Yep.
He has the option to inspect your bag, and if you have stuff in there that you didn't say and you lie,
Yeah, you're trying to bring things to market, and you can try and sneak extra stuff in for
Yep.
more money
If you lied, then you have to pay a fine, and that money goes
to the sheriff.
to the sheriff. So if he it's beneficial for him to catch you.
But if he thinks you're lying and he catches and you were telling the truth, the sheriff has to pay you.
Exactly. And so one of the guys we were playing with, it's very hard. It's very easy to obviously get one thing in. Because you can only you can't declare more than one good. So you can have chickens, cheese, and bread, right? So you can't say I've got 2 chickens and a cheese. You have to say I have 3 cheese.
It would make it really hard, I think, for simplicity's sake.
Yep.
I'm glad that exists because it'd be really hard to be like, what did you say again? A goat, 9
Right.
mules, and 3 oxen.
But you can only put 5 items in, and so the guy we were playing with, he
Ooh,
snuck in 5 chickens and he wasn't lying. So
What?
gotta rise the podcast Discord now.
What? That's awesome. Brad put that together already?
Swanky
Oh,
did.
Swanky.
Swanky, should I stream Satisfactory to there when we're playing?
Hey, that's awesome. Oh, I forgot. I love my Satisfactory game running so I can get a bunch of stuff.
You are evil. That's so funny.
Hilarious.
Chris isn't mining Bitcoin or any type of cryptocurrencies. He's mining in-game actual elements to make his game easier by just letting his computer run. Kara, out of all the games you see me play, do you have any interest in ever trying Satisfactory? Is there any appeal there whatsoever? It's like Minecraft, but you take the mining out of it by making machines do it for you.
I don't think so.
So, Chris, did I ever send you the funny meme?
His username is SwankyTK421, by the way.
That's awesome. So there was a meme, and it was...
Oh my goodness.
Oh, because you were hitting the...
Well, you got a little bit of the IMDb game scorecard there, guys. Sorry.
I saw a funny thing, and it was totally me, as I do it all the time at work, but it's like, let me take 10 days to automate a 10-minute task.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
but then it's a lifetime of savings.
It's a lifetime of savings, exactly. So... Well, thank you very
my
much,
goodness.
Swanky, for making our Discord. We'll have to hop on there.
I'm already on.
Comment in there if you some of the things you want to see us do.
Wait,
or
how
just
do I
chat with us.
find that? Then we'll go here.
I can invite you.
Rise of the podcast? I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
I can invite you.
So are you gonna jump on Satisfactory tonight?
I will, but we have to drive to Brainerd tomorrow.
Yep.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, please. It'll be fun. Get out of here. Jeremy's just being a salty butt.
Brainerd is like worse Cloquet.
I'd rather live in Brainerd than Cloquet.
You well have fun.
No.
Here's the thing about Brainerd. It's not next to literally anything.
Exactly. Cloquet's next to Duluth.
Like Brainerd, like you might be better off driving to St. Cloud than Minneapolis at that point.
Yeah.
It's like if you drew Minnesota, Brainerd's like the dead middle center.
Well, here's the thing. At least Brainerd Baxter area, they've got like a Target, they've got a little mall there, they've got
Burger
Menards, they've got way more than Cloquet does. What does Cloquet have?
Duluth.
Walmart.
Yeah, we don't need it because Duluth has it.
Duluth has
But then here's the thing. Do you really like driving from Cloquet to Duluth?
No, who does? No one likes driving anywhere. That's why I don't want to
No.
go to Brainerd. It's because the drive. I hate losing time to driving. That's it. And we got copious amount of deer here that just frolic to and fro.
Yeah.
We had a fawn. We talked about that last week. We had a fawn in our yard.
See, we got deer even in our house.
So I've been through Brainerd literally hundreds of times. So we drive right through there to get to my grandparents' place.
Oh, yeah.
So that's like what we considered the halfway point. It's not quite halfway. But
That's
like
a
we'd stop
long
and
drive.
yeah, it's 4
Ew.
hours out to my grandparents' place.
Ew.
So, but yeah, Brainerd, like literally, it's like if you took Duluth and stripped off all the cool stuff and just stuck what Cloquet doesn't have onto Cloquet. That's all Brainerd is.
Right.
They got a raceway, I guess. That's something.
So you can go 95 and not get a speeding ticket.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the raceway isn't part of the highway.
Right. But, all right, Chris, you better take us out.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you guys for joining us. If you've made it this far into the video, congratulations. You've made it to the end of the video. Go ahead and give it a like to show that you want to see more content like this in the future. Comment down below with how you feel about Brainerd. I'm interested to see everyone's opinions. Just do a little bit of Wikipedia and decide whether or not you want to go there tomorrow. Subscribe if you're not already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time we upload a video or go live. I think it's a good time interacting with us, but then again, I'm here, so what do you do? Thank you guys so much for watching, and of course,
May the force be with you.